Hello, wonderful people, and welcome again to today's tutorial, today's training. My name is still Bernard, and today we'll be designing something simple like this. The whole concept is, designing something for a church, for its Sunday service. And it's very simple, it's very easy, straight to the point, and then let's get right into it. So now, uh, I like using Canva. I like using Canva on the browser because sometimes when I'm getting my images, I get my images from the browser. So to me, it's easier, just to move my images right into the same browser that I'm using. But you could also get Canva desktop or Canva for desktop, and then you can use it as an app. But I've used the app, but it wasn't smooth for me because I like getting most of my images online and then moving them around. So I want it to be easy. I want it to be smooth for me. That's why normally I prefer the browser versions. So you come to your homepage Canva, and then you come to customize size. Now mind you, we are using inches, so you just have to change to inches, and then you put 48 by 36, 48 by 36, 48 by 36. So horizontally it should be 48, and then vertically it should be 36. So I already have mine here, so you just put it, and then you make sure you change this to inches, and then now we are here. So we are designing something like this. So in the first things first, let's insert our background. So this very background that I use, which I got it from the element, so it is called pastel watercolor background. I hope I'm mentioning it right. Pastel watercolor background. So you just search for it in your elements, and then you should get it. So now let me just resize or position and maybe reduce the transparency just a little bit. I think 90 should be fine for me. I would want to maintain 90. Now we are about to insert all these elements, so let me insert them. So you go to your elements still, or we are still in elements, and then you search for this Twitter frame shape. Twitter frame shape. So this, it's actually a frame. So you just go to your element and search for Twitter frame shape, or you can search for frames and then scroll down. It is very down. I didn't want us to go through scrolling, that's why I just picked it from my recent. So I have this here, and then let me duplicate and then resize to what I think I'm okay with. Duplicate and then resize, and then make sure they are well arranged. The intervals are almost, if not the same, they are almost the same. So let me I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard, so I think this is okay. And then now I duplicate the last one and make sure it is well aligned and then well spaced, at least something close to well spaced, and then group them because I'll be working with them as one element so that I can resize all of them at once. So now I have my frames inserted. So next thing is to go and then look for my image. But if you already have your image, you can insert your image. But for the purposes of this training or tutorial, I just pick my image online from Google. So I just search for man preaching, and then when it loads, and then I see a thumbnail that I like, I have to click on the thumbnail for it to load on this side, and then I copy. I don't save, because I keep saying that I copy because I don't want to be saved on my PC and then eating up space on my PC. So I already have it here, so let me just try and then upload it from my recent images. or let me just pick it from here all over again. So I copy this and then come to my workspace and then paste it. So let Canva do its magic. We're letting Canva do its magic. Sometimes you just have to relax and then wait for Canva. I'm sure by the time it comes, it will come twice because I pasted it twice. But sometimes, just to be sure, I just do it the second time and then leave it. I don't do it the third time. So there are days it comes at one. Maybe the first one didn't really go through. So, just allow Canva to do its work, and it should be in by now. Okay, so it wants me to do Control V on my keyboard. So I do Control V on my keyboard. So sorry, I do Control V on my keyboard, and it should load by now. Okay, so you see it came twice, so you just have to delete one and then work with one. Okay, so now you see all this 4 frames we've inserted. Yeah, yes, of course they are frames. So any picture I hover on it, it tries to accept it, but that's not what I want. So I'll hold down the control key and then position it so that the frames will not want to accept the picture, and then I take it to the back. So I'll be using it as a trace. You would see very soon what I want to do. Okay, so now I have it at the back of this 4 frames. So then I just duplicate it and then put it in the first frame. Now I double click to resize, and then I resize it to the size of the one that I've put in at the back. I said I will be using it as a trace. If I'm using the right word, I'll be using it as a trace. So that's good. And don't worry, it is there. It is there, but because I have positioned it exactly where the picture at the back is, that's why it looks like you're not seeing it. But when we finish, you'd see what I was trying to do. So I put it in the next frame, and also double click and then resize to take the same size of the picture behind. So sometimes when you are doing something that's not working, you just have to zoom in and then do it well. So it is still not working. I wonder why. Okay, I think let me position it here. And that's why I always say that it needs to be as close as possible. It sometimes it cannot be perfect, but it should be as close as possible. It should be as close as possible. So no, I made a mistake. I rather double click the image in the particular frame and then resize. So make sure it is the same size as the image I have put in at the back. Click on the same image at the back and duplicate. So I was just clicking on the image I had put in at the back and then resizing, and then duplicating it and then resizing it in the frame to fit or to be the same size as the image at the back, or as the same size with the one in the frame and then the one at the background. So now they are all the same. So it looks like there's nothing there, but if I should click the one at the back and then delete it, see what we created. Something simple, something very nice. So I'd want us to just flip. Okay, I think um so we would have to go through all this all over again. I think I made a mistake of not flipping the image. So let me flip this image first. I would want, yes, I would want the guy to be facing the other way. So I make sure my image is positioned exactly where I would want it to look. So you see, I want the head to be in this second frame from the left. So I have to make sure it is exactly where I want, and then now I duplicate. But it's all good for you also to, or for me also to go through all over again for you to see how I did it. So I duplicate the background or the trace. It's just an image I put at the back to be able to help me position my images in the frames and then resize them rightly. So I double click and then resize. I click, duplicate, position, double click, and resize. So there's too much, and this is just right. Duplicate, position, double click, stretch it out. Okay, I would want to zoom in and then stretch. So let me zoom out. The minute I see, it's supposed to be on the same image, then I have the right. Oh, I deleted something. So undo, and then now duplicate, and then resize, and position, resize, position, and then delete the one at the back, and we have the same thing. And this a nice effect you can create. So now let's move on. So I just created this logo for tutorial purposes, just ABCD 123. It's just a dummy logo I created. So let me paste this logo here to serve as my logo. And now let's move to inserting this text. Now I think this was archival, so let me come to text and then insert a text box. Let me insert this very one and then see the font style. No, it is not. So let me delete them, and then I would want to type them, do everything from scratch. So let's go on. So Sunday, but I didn't start with an S because I created a bigger S for the Sunday and then the service. I created a bigger, so I think there's that, and then let me reduce the line space and then bold in it. Now I said what? Archival. So let me try searching it. Archival. Oh no, that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here. I hope I spelled it right. Okay. So sometimes, yes, so there's it. Sometimes you just have to take your time to go through, and trust me, it took me very long to create this, just trying a lot of things, figuring out what will work and what doesn't work. So I just duplicated a text box and then just did an S, but this S is not the same font style. So let me check the font style I use for the S. It is a big shoulder. So a big shoulders. Let me see the full. Okay, don't worry. When I type the first two words, it should give me suggestions. So big shoulders. So let me change it to big shoulders. I hope my spellings are correct. I think it should be, yes, big shoulder display. Yes, that is it. And then bolding it and position. I'm zooming. And I think this should be fine for me. Let me take it back just a little bit. So I click on the Sunday service and then duplicate it, and then come to effects, and then just select holo effect, and then take the holo back. So I just duplicated it. So let me go over again. So I click on the text box, duplicate it, go to effects, and then click on holo, and then I just wanted it to create some kind of a light thrown on it. So a light thrown on it that is giving it some kind of a 3D effect. So I do the same for the S, and it does the magic for me. So let me group this and then shift it to the side just a little bit to create a space for me, and then group all that. So now they are blue. I chose blue for them. Yes, they are blue. And then now I insert worship with us. So let me just reduce the font size and then copy the whole text. I wanted to use, but I think what I have it's okay for me. So let me maintain this. I think it's okay for me. And then I would want, in terms of arrangement, I would want it to be almost the same length as the U, from the U to the Y. So I just stretch the text box to fit where I want it to be, and then just come to line spacing, and then letter spacing, and then increase the letter spacing so that it will give it enough space, and then it will fill that whole area I want it to fill. So let me just increase it just a little bit. So let me type 120, and I'm okay with 120. Let me change this back to black. And then what's next? In person and then online. So in person and online. So I insert my my shape. So I would want to insert this sharp edged shape, and then also make sure it's perfectly aligned with the E, the first E, and then the last E, and then duplicate this. So obviously I need to reduce the font size a little further, and then make sure it's in the middle and then it fits. So I think this is good. And then let me copy. Okay, so I would have to type in person and online. So I select and change the color to white, and then still reduce. I think this is okay. Let me increase it just a little bit to fill up and position it well. Okay, now I moved something. Sometimes you have to be sensitive. You have to be checking what you've moved and what you've not. You may move something that you are not aware of. So when you see something move without your permission, then you just have to go and undo. I'd want to affect changes to this element, but it seems this whole thing is on top of it. So I just take it to the back so that I can have access to it and then resize it. So I'm good to go. I would want okay, let me ungroup and then select this two and then reduce the line spacing for the two so that this in person can also fit exactly there, so my work will be well arranged and I can group them back because I would want to resize them all at once. So since I'm okay with my arrangements, I can group them back and then continue with my editing. So you see what I said, I don't like it here, so I just have to bring it down just a little bit and then make sure this and that is somewhat aligned. Yes, this is okay. So we move now. I just inserted this, so I searched for Facebook Live and then Instagram Live, and then this is just a dummy QR code I just inserted. So I downloaded the Facebook Live as an image and then also downloaded YouTube Live as an image because it said it was in person and then online. So at least want to give the address of the online platforms, but not typing, you just have to scan it and then it takes you right there. So that's the whole concept of that. So let me copy that. Oh, I seem to be copying a lot of things with it. No. Okay. So that's the whole concept of that, so that people can scan and then join the service. So now I created this effect here. So we just insert a round shape which is already blue and then reduce the transparency just a little. Okay, maybe let's just do 50. Let me type 50 and then duplicate, position, duplicate, and then after that it will start duplicate it will start positioning it for you. So I think I'm supposed to increase and then space them just a little bit. So let me undo to the first duplicate. This is the first duplicate, so position it well and then duplicate, position the second one with almost the same interval as the previous one, and then when you click duplicates, it does that for you. This is how I created this effect. So I can group them and then probably position them well. And I have this effect here. So now let's insert this for our contact. So we just come to shapes and see all of shapes, and then when it comes, you just scroll down. You just scroll down to the shape side. Allow Canva to do its magic. Sometimes it's slow. You just have to allow it to load, because I believe there are lots of people using the app at the same time or at a particular time. So it's to me, I understand why sometimes it's slow. So let's select this very one, which is what parallelogram right. So click and then position, click duplicate, and I'd just want to be taller. So I'd just want to be taller, so the rest, it will be the same size, or it should be the same it should be the same thickness, or it should be the same width, but for the height I just want one to be taller than the other. And then make sure my spacing is as close as possible, and then group them. Now I can work on them as one, so I can have one size for them. So I just inserted my location icon, my call icon, and then my globe icon. So let's insert those ones. Still at elements, we just type location. I didn't spell my location right. So you just pick the one that works for you. And because it is a blue background, I would want to use white. Position it well, and then come to color and then change it to white. Now the names, I just use made up names. So Ken City 1 2 3 4 5 Avenue. So let me copy the whole text box and then paste and position. Paste and position. Ooh. Okay. In position. So use call icon. Then pick the one I like and make sure it is on the same line as the previous one, and then just change the color to white, and then copy this whole text box thing and then paste it, just because I don't want to type. And then for the website, we just search for globe. And I chose this first one to also position, and then make sure it is on the same line as the previous one. And then let me copy my text box and then paste my text box, and be sure of alignment. Change the globe color to white, and then insert my social handles. So I come to my element and then select a shape, but I have to make sure that shape is the same, probably the same thickness and on the same line as my logo. That's how I'd want to do it, so that it will look nice. And I think I have achieved that. So I come and then copy the name. This again, let's just a dummy text. Oh, let me copy the text box rather. and then I insert my icons, that is Facebook. So choose whichever one I think I'm okay. No, I think since Facebook will be blue, I would want to use a white color and change the text rather to a blue text so that I can oh so pick whichever one you. I think since there are a lot of blues here, okay, let me just maintain the blue or the actual color, because Facebook is already blue, so we're choosing actual. So you see, I want to make it to be well arranged, and there are suggestions here. So Instagram, and where are you, Instagram? So let me zoom out. Okay, there it is. Unfortunately, Instagram entered one of the frames, so I just undo and then hold down my control key and then move it about. So now if I hover it over any frame, it will just not mind it because I'm holding down the control key. That is saving me the stress of, or the suggestion for it to probably enter that frame and maybe that's not where I want it to be. So I need to resize my Instagram. Somehow it is not responding to me. So patience. I think it will respond now. Yes. I zoom in with the keyboard scrolling button. I hold down the control on the keyboard and then scroll up. And now we search for, I'm trying to see if there are some suggestions here. No, just search for YouTube. And resize. Zoom in and be sure what I am doing. Yes, it's the same height. And then zoom out. And we just designed a simple looking flyer for a church. Yes, so we just, and you can add, like sometimes I say, sometimes I want to add something but I don't know what to add, so I just go to elements and then search for elements in elements, and then when those suggestions come, I just try. If it works, I leave it. If it doesn't work, I delete and then try another thing. Just keep trying. Let me try this. Sort of about what works and then what doesn't work. It's not working for me, but I inserted this and then just resize, and then since it will be here and then it's white, it's not popping to just play around with colors and all. So this is it, something simple and straight to the point, combining all sorts of elements, to create something unique like this. And yes, so again, just keep trying, keep making mistakes, and then that's the only way you can learn. So thank you for joining me on today's tutorial, on today's training on Canva flyer design, and have a wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe, and then comment, and hope to see my next video. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.